mighty SUCRAM. No fucking intro today. Let's get to it. Get fucking started. Gil, you can go fuck yourself. Cheryl, you can go fuck yourself. And Jared, go cry me a fucking river.
Why can't I go fuck myself?
Because you don't deserve to fucking fuck yourself.
Oh my God. Somebody is in a mood today.
All
So
right.
lonely I can't even fuck myself.
I'm so lonely, and I got nobody on my own.
Oh my Lord.
It's an old Akon song. All right, we have today's a relaxed episode because next week, Gil, is the season finale. And tell me what's going on next week, Gil.
You like went in and out like 10 times. I didn't hear a word you said.
Okay. Today is a relaxed episode. Next week is more important. Gil, do you want to say why next week is more important besides the fact that it's the season finale?
I don't know, but somebody opened a big ass window and there's like a nasty breeze coming through. I think I'm feeling a draft.
Haha, maybe.
I walked into that one.
Yes, you did.
Next week, next Friday and Saturday are the 2025 NHL Draft in Los Angeles, California. The Capitals can go in any situation. It's going to come down to the wire. If we do end up trading the pick, it'll be sometime this week. I don't think we're going to end up trading it because there's really no one out there right now outside of maybe Robertson. But it's looking like Dallas is not really going to trade him unless they get a massive piece back. Massive package back that includes probably 2 first-rounders and potentially an elite player, which the Caps can afford, but the Caps shouldn't be giving away players that could be a major factor in the next 3 years, because the Capitals are still in a retool and they're trying to get out of the retool, and doing that they need to draft and trade and get players smartly. So let's put the Caps trading aside. There's a few players on the list that I have here. I think the Capitals can really go after. 2 of them are centers. 2 are centers, 2 are defensemen, and 1's a goalie. I think there's going to be a couple defensemen at 27 that are going to be enticing for the Capitals to select. Gil, we could go anywhere at 27, honestly. Maybe not wing, because we don't really need wing help.
Don't need a defenseman either.
Well, right-handed defenseman we do. That side's a little weaker. There's a couple right-handed defensemen that we could go after, and Logan Hensler, if he's sitting there at 27, you can draft him. But there's another kid who's starting to rise up boards. He played for the London Knights. Henry Brushewicz, I think his name is. I talked about him a little bit in the chat. Don't be shocked if he's at play at 27 as well. I still think goalie is also our go-to for number 37. The other 2 guys are Jack Murtaugh and Cole McKinney. Those are the 2 centers that will be available at 27, and I think either one works for them. Gil, what are your definite? Do you have a definite answer who you think we're going to target with our first pick?
I am going to throw in another name. I've been doing a little homework, and so I'm going to cite a source here. I don't always agree with the New York Times /Athletic.
Yeah.
But Scott Wheeler's latest mock draft, I think, nailed it. He had the Caps picking Milton Gastrin at number 27. He's a center from Sweden. He's played 8 games in the Swedish Elite League. That's against men. He's already played against men at 18. He's a great 2-way guy. Yes, not a number 1 center. I get that. Not the guy who's going to put 1,000 points up on the board. But I think he will be a cornerstone of the franchise going forward. This guy has one part Dylan Strome to his game and one part Sasha Barkov to his game. I like him a lot.
He was our pick in our very first ever mock draft 1.0.
And I think because he doesn't get a whole lot of hoo-ha in the hockey press, he's going to fall to 27. And if he does, I think they should take him.
There's another guy. There's another guy that's been getting it's your boy. He's been getting a lot of praise, and he might even sneak his way into the first round. As of late, I've been hearing a lot of good things about him. It's your boy, the Chinese defenseman,
Howsy Wang?
Haoji Wang. He could potentially be there at play as well at 27. He is just skyrocketed. He was originally in our first 3 mock drafts. He wasn't even in the 50s. He is now 23rd ranked on this board. Actually, no, 34, but 34 ranked, not 23rd. But he's rising, and he could potentially be there for the Capitals as well. Shane Vershegi is also there, but it's a right winger. We don't need a winger. I don't think we're going to go after a Russian. I think we're done drafting Russians for a little bit. Because the last 4 out of 5 Russians haven't panned out. Outside of Ovechkin and not Kuzi didn't pan out. Kuzi had one good playoff run. So I mean, I guess we just gotta wait until Friday and see what happens. And like I said, anything from here to then could happen. But I just don't think the Capitals are gonna move anything at this point. If they would have done it, they would have done it already. And the only maybe not. But
well, I mean, some teams, they like to be dramatic. They like to make a splash, and there's going to be a lot of eyes on this thing. And some deals, they take a lot of time, a lot of moving to put together. You know, a lot of money moving.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this right now, though. Jason Robertson's not getting moved. I just don't think any team out there is gonna overpay to get him. I think he's an amazing player. He's potentially a great player that could be an elite player for a team like Washington. I just don't think it's worth trading away everything to get him, which is what I've been hearing Dallas has been asking for, is they want everything to give up him because he's still an RFA. He's still an RFA. Marco Rossi is another player that apparently Minnesota is asking for the moon. So
I don't get that. I don't get that at all. What has he ever done?
He's
other than be under 24.
That's the big reason. Is he's
oh,
under
for
24.
Christ's sakes! No.
I'm not saying that that's worth it.
I know.
I'm just saying that's what
I
I've been
don't get
hearing.
it.
That's
I
all
don't
I've been
fucking
hearing.
get it.
So, like, at this point, I think the best bet for the Capitals is to just stay put and draft the best available player, and then maybe next year you get a big splash because you can use the potential prospect you draft this year as an asset to trade for the player at either the trade deadline or next off season, where the Capitals have a ton of cap space going into next year. We're going from $10 million to $47 million next year. Which I think it even skyrockets a little bit more after that, the following year after that. So the Capitals are going to have a lot of cap space. But here's the thing I got to warn you. Caps are going to have a lot of cap space, but that cap space can go quick. Look at the Colorado Avalanche. They had the most cap space the year that they signed Cal McCarr. 3 years later, they got all of that cap space gone. And now they're struggling to sign players, which is why they had to trade Mikko Rantanen. So I don't want us to be in that situation. I don't. That's why I'm more afraid of the Jason Robertson deal. Getting him, I don't mind getting him. Signing him to that massive contract, which will then, in return, eat our cap up for long periods of time, is not what I want to put ourselves into. Especially not when we're a team that's we're not a team trying to win a cup. They might say they're trying to win a cup, but let's be real. We're not a cup contender for at least 2 or 3 more years. We still have many holes on the roster that need to be answered, especially that starts with that third fucking line. So looking at these guys, I mean, like I said, from I would probably look from the rank 20 all the way to potentially rank 38 of guys that the Capitals could go after. But I want to talk about the goaltending situation. Uh, the Capitals need a goalie in their prospect system. I mean, all the goalies they've drafted the past years only have and signed have potential AHL starter. They don't have a goalie in their system that is an NHL potential starter. Nicholas Kemp is probably the only one that has potential, and he had arguably what is the worst backup season in NCAA history. So the Caps got to go goalie with their 37th pick. So let's look at the top goalies in this year's draft. I know who I want, and I know who I think the Capitals want, and I know I would not be shocked if he ends up being the Capitals pick at 37. Gil, out of these 5, 6, 7, 10 goalies, okay, we'll do the top 10 goalies. Who do you expect the Capitals to draft if they draft a goalie?
Well, I only can think of two off the top of my head, but I'm gonna spring something back at you once I give you those two names, and we've gone over both of them to death.
Yes.
Josh Ravensburger and Jack, I think his first name is Ivankovic.
Yes.
Those are the two they should go after. Now, here's my question to you. What if by some twist of fate, by the time they get to either pick 27 or 37, both of those guys are gone? What do they do then?
I think you take the best goalie afterwards. I mean, there's a couple goalies here that could potentially. The next goalie up is Alexeyev Medvedov, some are stating that he could even be better than both of them. I had a nice conversation. Well, not really a nice conversation, but I got into a conversation with someone on Twitter about this. Jack Ivankovic, he had an amazing World Juniors, but if you look at his OHL playoffs that preceded that, they weren't good. He had 2 good games, but then he had 3 really bad games. So his stock might fall, which would lead to the Capitals drafting him at 37. I think out of the 2 goalies that falls, it'll be Ivankovic, because Ravensburgen is touted as the top goalie, and there's 3 teams in the top 25 or top 30, 32 that need a goalie. Nashville, Philadelphia, LA, and Columbus. I know I said Columbus doesn't really need a goalie in our last mock draft, but looking at back now, I don't think they really have a goalie in their system. Greaves could possibly be a potential NHL starter. I mean, he's looked good the games he played. I just don't think he's going to be that franchise goalie. I mean, how old is he right now? Is he like in his late 20s?
A lot of goalies don't get their start till their late 20s.
He's 24, so never mind. I take it back.
24. Yeah, he can have a nice 10-year career.
That's
plenty of time.
Goalies usually develop by 24. That's usually the elite ones. The elite ones usually develop by 24. So Greaves is probably hitting his stride at the right time. So I'm going to take Columbus off there. I don't think Columbus is going to go goalie. But Nashville still needs a goalie, and Barry Trotz already came out and said that this is the year that this year or next year they're drafting a goalie with their first pick. So, well, not their first pick because they got a top 5 pick, but their second first rounder. Yeah, which I don't think Nashville's going to be in the same situation as they were this year. Next year, I think they're going to bounce back. They're going to have a better year. I mean, like I said though, the 3 guys on my list are the 2 guys that you mentioned: Ravensburgen, Ivankovic, and Medvedov. The 2 guys I honestly think the Capitals are going to draft. I honestly changed it. I told you this is the guy I think is going to go to the Capitals, and now that I thought about it long and hard, last night, Alexeyev Medvedov, he's going to be a Washington Capital. I have a feeling that's
No.
Yes, I have a feeling that's who they're going to
Not
draft.
another Russian goalie.
I have a feeling that's who they're going to draft.
Oh, please.
At
God,
37.
anything but
I
that.
have a feeling that's who they're going to draft. They're going to look at Jack Ivankovic's performance in the OHL playoffs, and it's going to steer him away. I have a feeling Medvedev, who had a really good run, especially during the playoffs, he's only 17 years old. They're going to draft him. I have a feeling he's a big goalie too. He's 6'3", 180. I have a feeling that's the kid they get. I think that's our goalie of the future. Alexei Medvedev. And I know, we both agree that I don't think Russian goalies should be what we take. We've taken multiple Russian goalies and they've fucking failed. Semyon Varlamov failed. Samsonov failed. But maybe third time's a charm. Now, me personally, I do want Joshua Ravensburger. I think he's the best goalie in this class. I just don't think he's going to be there at 27 or 37. If he's there at 27, we're taking him. We're taking him. But if he's not there, I have a feeling we might trade out of the first round. We could trade out of the first round.
Why would we do that?
Because there's nothing here for us to get.
And it's very likely that anybody they would want and or is worth having would be gone by the time that 27th pick comes around. That's why I think they're going to trade it. There's maybe like 2 or 3 centers that might be available by then that they should take, and there's a good chance they'll all be gone.
Pretty much. So we'll see. But as for the third round pick, I know we did like a depth mock draft last podcast, but here we're just gonna do the top 3 picks for the Capitals. The third round pick, I believe, is the 91st overall pick, or is it the 94th?
Good question.
Because I have a feeling these top 3 picks are going to be NHL players. They're going to be NHL players for the Capitals. So they're going to have a major, either that or the third rounder is going to have a major factor for the Bears. So let's see where we're at. 2025. So the Capitals have. So they originally had the 59th pick, which they traded to Pittsburgh for Bolivier. They also had the 5th round pick, but they traded it for Lars Eller, which blew up in their face.
Yeah.
They traded the 91st pick to Vegas, but they got the 93rd pick from Carolina. Okay. So 93. Let's look at the prospect that's 93. At 93 range. So we got... Ooh. No, he's too fucking small. He's too small. Ooh, what a name. What a name. Luke Michelbacher. There you go. There you go, Gil. This one sounds just for you. Asher Barnett. There you go. Where's our boy Shamar Moses? Where's Shamar Moses? Where's our boy Shamar Moses? Is he even on this board? Probably not. I mean, I wouldn't mind taking Zachary Morin. He sounds like a Capital player. Where's our boy Shamar Moses? I'm gonna telling you, man. I'm gonna conjugate that to happen, bro. I'm gonna make it happen.
You're gonna manifest it?
I'm gonna manifest it, man. I'm gonna manifest that shit. Shamar Moses to the Washington Capitals. 5th round pick, calling it. I'll shit myself if he actually drafted. My boy's not on the board.
Projected to go to sometime towards the end of the second or early third round. Is what I'm reading.
Early second, third round. He's not even on this freaking board.
That's what the hockey.
Where's he out of?
That's what the hockey.
Oh, right here,
writers
here he
have
is. Here he is. North Bay OHL. He's ranked 104. Oh yeah. We're gonna take him. We're gonna take him at 93. We'll take him at 93. We'll take him at 93. It won't be. It's not too much of a reach. We'll take Shamar Moses. I mean, either that or we wait for 123 and hope he falls there. We'll take him. That's our boy. Shamar Moses is our boy. No. Zachary Morin probably is going to be on the Capitals' radar. He's a talented kid. He's mid-turn ranked is 47th. So that's where they have him projected to go earliest, I'm believing. Or actually, no, that was his rank midway through the season. So I still think he has potential talent. But I think he falls to the Capitals, and I think that's a steal for the Capitals. He's 6'2", 188. He's a left winger. He's an opportunistic scorer. More in roams the offensive zone, knowing how and where to attack to get passes and rebounds in the slot. And he can also distribute effectively, catching pucks all around him, rushing them through the neutral zone, and redirecting them to teammates. While he's not a power forward when defenders close on him, he cycles passes to space and can extend possessions with his frame. I wonder who needs that. Oh, hey, look at that. He's, oh no, he won't be Cole Hudson's partner. He won't be Cole Hudson's teammate. He's going to Boston University next year. Look at that. That's, I wouldn't mind taking him at 93. I think that could very well be a future Washington Capital in the prospects. Gil, who would you think would be on the? Would you think a defenseman or a forward would be on the radar at pick number 93?
Probably depth defenseman at that point. Somebody to eventually fill out the bottom pair.
Yeah, I could see that. Bradley Peddle, what a name! Hey, look, Jimmy Lombardi. Oh, here's a name for you. Gil. Francesco Deliose. That is a name. Here, I'll share it so you guys can see it. Francesco Deliose. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like right here.
No, because it's on my phone and it's tiny.
I got it.
He's a defenseman from UMass. Ooh, Tyler Hopkins. Alright, let's get into the next segment before... Alright, so we got a Stanley Cup Final, Game 6 tonight. A potential repeat champion, which I honestly think is going to happen. I said this, Gil, the last time we talked about this, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it 1,000 times. Edmonton can't keep up with Florida when they play a full 60-minute game. It is shown in 2 games of this series. Game 3 and Game 5. Florida from start to finish was the better team. And if Florida didn't fucking choke like they did in Game 4, this series would already be over.
Oops. What the hell? Sorry.
What?
Nothing.
No, now you gotta tell us.
No, an ad started playing on the game.
You're playing a game while we're...
I'm listening.
This is why I don't take your takes seriously.
What's she supposed to do? Watch porn?
Don't give her
Why
any.
not? That's what I'm doing.
Jared's.
I would say, don't even go there.
We're putting this on YouTube, and you want to just say that?
Sure, what the fuck? Should I give them my top 10 favorite videos?
No, let's not.
Well, what a good thing we're next week's our freaking season finale. But yeah, so game 6 is tonight. Stuart Skinner's back in net. Gil, are we going to be in agreement that either Sam Bennett or Brad Marchand are winning the Conn Smythe?
It could be one of those two guys. If you like a guy that's been quietly doing his job and doing all the right things, maybe a Barkov.
I was going to say Sasha Barkov. I'll tell you who's also been doing his job and playing really well. Nate Schmidt.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten a lot of attention for it, but yeah, he's been surprisingly good.
Seth Jones has been really good too. He just needs to get out of Chicago, man. And of course, we got to address the elephant in the room because he's going to bring it up in the next 5 seconds because he has a complete hard-on for this player. And I know if Florida wins tonight and they win the Stanley Cup, all I'm going to hear all off season how he's a Stanley Cup champion. Go ahead and say it, Jared.
Well, what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Jared, folks, has a complete hard-on for this former Capital goaltender who's utter trash and has no reason why that the Florida Panthers are in the Stanley Cup final. He's going to win the Stanley Cup for being a fucking backup.
Just for you, Marcus. Just for you.
I'm obviously talking about Vitek Bumacek. Talk about a player that doesn't deserve a Stanley Cup but still going to win it. Gail, what has been your favorite moment of this series?
It was kind of like Kenny Pickett winning the Super Bowl.
At least Kenny Pickett played in the Super Bowl, though. Vanacek's not going to play a single game.
You know what? If they're up by a lot tonight, put them in for the last minute.
Ain't gonna happen.
Bobrovsky could be another one that could win the Conn Smythe. He's been really good this playoffs. Gil, what has been your favorite moment of the playoffs as it winds down, either tonight or Thursday? Is it Thursday or Friday?
Uh,
Well, tonight's game 6.
Friday.
Friday's game 7.
I don't think it's going to get to Friday. I just, after game 5.
By the way, Kenny Pickett, that's a good thing to ask when you got you're looking at a guy and his hands are tied and he's got a really, 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 really bad itch in his nose.
oh my God.
All right, Gil, what has been your favorite moment of the playoffs?
I cannot believe for the life of me I am saying this, but it's got to be when Brad Marchand beat 3 guys off the face-off draw, outskated them, and then tucked the puck into the goal.
That was beautiful.
In game 4.
Was that game or was that last game? I thought that was last game.
Oh, you know what? That might have been last game.
Scored,
that's right.
He scored the game winner.
5.
He scored the
was
game
last
winner.
game.
Isn't that the
right,
one?
and Colin started jumping up and cheering because of it.
He scored the game winner. It was right after Connor McDavid scored to make it 3-0. No. That was the first goal. I think, that he did that.
Isn't that the one where the guy changed his jersey?
Yeah, no, that was after Marchand scored the 4th goal.
Okay.
That was fantastic. There was a fan in the fucking stands that took the fucking Oilers jersey off. And it was a Florida jersey right under it. I gotta say, my favorite all-time moment of this playoffs, even though it really didn't amount to anything, because they lost in Game 7, It's got to be Gabe Landeskog coming back. And then scoring a goal in Game 4. That's probably my highlight of the playoffs. I wish the Avalanche fucking did something with it and didn't blow a 2-0 fucking lead in Game 7. I don't think we'd be sitting in this same situation. I think Colorado would be in the Stanley Cup final. Dallas
What are you playing with?
Dallas. I don't know what the hell they do with Peter DeBoer. I don't know if he's fucking sacrificing lambs or if he's sacrificing children. I don't know why, but he's just undefeated when it comes to Game 7s. The guy has not lost a Game 7 in his entire coaching career. So
You know what else he hasn't done? Won a Stanley Cup.
he almost did. He almost did in 2016. But then he ran into a certain Mike Sullivan, a young coach named Mike Sullivan, who was in his first year tender of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they would go on a 3-year run, because they made it to the semifinals and lost to the Capitals. They didn't lose a playoff series until 2018, second round. Kind of like what the Bears did the last 3 years. So that's probably my favorite moment. But all time, probably the best moment has to be the Carolina Hurricanes blowing that 2-0 lead. They got so cocky after that, man. And then when Florida made it 3-2, that crowd, you could drop a penny and you hear it throughout the whole fucking arena. It was fantastic. Those fucking pieces of shit just got what they deserved. Fucking Carolina.
I talk shit about Canes fans.
Oh, you're obsessed with talking shit about Canes fans, okay? I can't go a minute without hearing you shitting on the Canes fans. They're like me with Pittsburgh. That's how bad it is. So, Gil, your final prediction tonight.
The game is going to go something like this. I don't know who's going to get the first goal, but it's not going to matter because it's going to be a really, really tight game through 2.5 periods. It's probably going to be something like 2-2 through the first 45 minutes.
Hold on. You think Stuart Skinner, who's been really bad in this series, is only going to give up 2 goals through 2 periods?
Skinner has also been really good when he has to be. And he has to be tonight. He has to be.
All right. So what's your final
score?
Now,
so I'm not done yet. So it's going to be something like that the first 45 minutes of the game. And then somewhere along the way, the Oilers are just going to collapse. They're going to forget to play defense. They're just going to keep on shooting and not scoring. And they're just going to stop playing because that's what they've been doing. They just stop playing. I feel like I'm fucking watching the damn Caps. I said this on Sports on the Hill last night. I feel like I'm watching the damn Caps sometimes when I'm watching the Oilers.
I'm gonna say,
and I'm like half joking when I say that, but it's oh so damn true.
I agree.
They just stop fucking playing.
I agree, but I also got to point out the fact that both of their victories are because Florida took their foot off the gas. Game 1, Florida put zero pressure on after making it. What was it? 3-1. They just stopped playing, and they blew it. Game 4, after up 3-0, you think Florida? No, this game's over. Nope, Florida just they play fucking keep away. They try to play keep away. They just dump the puck and they don't really put any pressure on the goaltending. They don't really give Pickard much. Like, yeah, Pickard makes a huge save, but like outside of that, like they really didn't do much until late in the third period when they scored, and then overtime they outplayed Edmonton. But I knew right there and then they were gonna fucking lose because the momentum was all Edmonton. I agree though. I ultimately don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game, but I will say this, though. If Florida scores first, I think Edmonton's losing. I think Edmonton's best shot to win this game tonight, they have to score first. They have to silence that crowd. If that crowd is going, it's over. I just don't think Edmonton can win to win this, and it's gonna depend on how that goes. If Edmonton gets that first goal, like they did it last year, in Game 5, down 3-1. They scored the first goal. So I want to give Edmonton credit, and I want to say Edmonton can do what Pittsburgh and Boston did. I just don't think this is a different beast. Florida is built for playoff hockey, and they've been built for playoff hockey the last 3 seasons. And honestly, I could see them three-peating if they win tonight. I could see them winning it again next year. They just feel like they don't lose. They have lost any energy. They're playing like they just fucking started the playoffs yesterday after missing the playoffs for first 16 seasons. So, honestly, ultimately, I agree with you. I think probably 4-2?
Or 5-2, but
5-2.
somewhere after the first few minutes of the third period, the Oilers are going to stop playing and they're going to let in one. They're going to let in one goal, and then like 2 minutes later they'll let in another goal, and then they're going to play catch up for the rest of the damn game, and they can't do it. They don't know how to do it.
And this is why I picked Florida to win this series, anyways, because when Zach Hyman went down and done for the series, I picked Florida.
Yeah.
I picked Florida.
When that happened, out the window went their secondary scoring.
So, I agree, but I'm gonna ask you next: who gets the game winner? You got
somebody that hasn't lit it up a whole lot. He scored, but he hasn't, been dominant. I'm thinking somebody like a Carter Verhaeghe or that guy Greer.
I was gonna say AJ Greer. That third line. Is that their third or fourth line? I think it's
third line. I think
they've dominated this entire series. That third line has dominated the play in this series. What was it? The second period, like the last half of the second period, where they pinned Edmonton in their own zone. That third line pinned them for almost 3 shifts. So I can see that, but I gotta go with the guy that's been hot in this series. I gotta go with the future Washington Capital, Brad Marchand. Brad Marchand, baby. Brad Marchand will score the game winner. I predicted he'd score the game winner in Game 5, and that's what he did. He scored the 4th goal of the game and ended up being the game winner. So that was also a beautiful goal, too, that Brad Marchand scored. I'm telling you, man, he's a future Washington Capital.
Man, you realize if we pick up Marchand and Atlanta gets their team back, Colin's going to become the biggest Caps hater in the world.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Which that brings us to our next segment. The Atlanta has officially been granted, it's not Atlanta, but it's Forsyth County has been granted a $3.5 billion dollar arena, which kind of confirms, guess what, NHL fucking haters? Atlanta hockey's back, baby! NHL owners and NHL community will be voting after the Stanley Cup Final. I think the week after the draft, they're going to hold a meeting. Or it could be next week before the draft. I think it's the 25th. I think that the meeting is the 25th. I think the expansion meeting the voting meeting is so I'm thinking, usually I think it's right before the draft. So sometime next week. Maybe. That's all I heard from that. It even says right here. It's right here. Atlanta News First. Forsyth County approves plans for a $3 billion mixed-use development with the arena meant to attract NHL team. Where did it say they're gonna vote on it? So probably sometime next year, probably around the Olympics, is when they'll announce the brand new NHL team. And I wouldn't be shocked if they announce Atlanta and Houston at the same time. So, Gil, we're looking at 34 teams by 2030 at this point.
That's a lot of teams.
Not really.
Well, then you're going to have to come up with 2 more so the divisions balance out.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because Arizona's probably going to get a new team eventually. The Phoenix Suns owner wants to bring them back.
Okay, perfect. You bring a team back to Arizona for the Pacific, Houston for the Central, and we'll give Atlanta to the Metro. And for God's sakes, just put a team back in Quebec City.
There you go.
No.
For the Atlantic.
No, it's not what I'm hearing. It's not what I'm hearing.
But that makes the most sense. That'd work.
Makes the most sense, but what I'm hearing...
Well, we are talking the NHL here.
What I'm hearing is NHL is looking at another team in Ohio.
What?
What? Like Cleveland?
Yeah, they're looking at another team in Ohio, potentially in Ohio. That's what I've been hearing.
But why? You got an NHL team in Columbus, AHL in Cleveland, and ECHL in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That's what I've been hearing.
Where would you put
the 3 teams I've been hearing outside of Houston, Phoenix, and Atlanta are Cincinnati.
Oh, it'd make more sense to give one to Wisconsin, like Milwaukee or something.
Cincinnati, Milwaukee is one, and then Kansas City. Those are the 3 I've been hearing.
Oh, we're going to bring back the Scouts?
Which then, in return, I'm thinking if the Scouts come back, Nashville gets moved to the East, which Nashville should be in the fucking East anyways. So...
Aren't they the most Eastern West team?
Yeah.
Yes.
They also have, I believe, they have an Eastern time zone.
Part of them. Half the states in the Eastern time. Half the states in EST, and the other half is in Central. Because my sister's in Central, she's in Nashville, but the other half, or near Nashville, she's in Central time.
Central time. So.
But the other half, but I think part of it's Eastern time.
Like over towards like Knoxville, Gatlinburg, that area.
I have a feeling Nashville is going to get eventually moved to the... Or what's going to happen is they're going to abolish the East and the West, and they're going to make 4 conferences.
Jesus, God.
So I have a feeling that is the major factor in what's going to happen. But right now, it's all talk. But it's looking like the Atlanta's getting a 3rd team. Because this is what was
Third
holding.
time's the charm.
This was, of course, this owner wants to make Atlanta successful, and he's giving them this Atlanta team, potential 3rd Atlanta team, has the 2 factors that are reason why the previous two failed. No arena, and no ownership to give a shit about the fan base. The Thrashers didn't have an owner who cared. The owner didn't want to keep them in Phillips Arena, which was a terrible arena. They didn't want to pay money to build a new arena. They cared more about the Atlanta Hawks at the time. So they sold them to Winnipeg. And the Atlanta Flames, the owner didn't even give a shit about the team in general. This owner is giving them a brand new facility. He has multiple ownerships and potentially a guy like Anson Carter to come on board, a guy that knows about hockey. I don't see how this Atlanta team fails. I don't.
Do you think they'll be the Thrashers or give them a new name?
They're gonna be a new name. I don't think they're gonna get the Thrasher name back. I want them to get the Thrasher name back.
Does Winnipeg have rights to the name?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they'd have to give it up for Atlanta.
Winnipeg had to pay I think a hefty fee from Arizona to get the Jets name back. Let me look that up.
That sounds right.
Winnipeg did not pay Arizona to get the Jets name back in a traditional sense of buying the name or its history. Here's what happened. So the original blah, blah, blah. In 2011, the North Sports and Entertainment purchased the Atlanta Thrashers, an NHL team relocated. When they relocated, they did not purchase the rights to the Thrashers name. Instead, they decided to adopt the Jets name, reviving it. Okay, so they didn't pay for it. Okay, but they actually did not purchase the rights to the Thrasher name. So no, the Atlanta team can come back as the Thrashers.
Would make the most sense.
Yeah, I would think.
Instead of screwing around trying to come up with a new name.
I mean, look at the brown thrasher. That's their bird. That's a weird bird. But that's the bird of Georgia. That's why they made it. That's why they named themselves Atlanta Thrashers. Named after the Georgia State bird. I don't know what the New York State bird is.
You mean a falcon isn't?
No. The falcon is the only reason why they named a falcon because they preside mainly the falcon that's their logo presides mainly in Georgia. Oh, look at that. The eastern bluebird. I didn't even know that was our state bird.
For who?
For New York.
Oh.
The eastern bluebird. That's cool.
Is Maryland the Oriole? I feel like...
Yeah, Maryland is the Baltimore Oriole.
It better be.
So, Gil, let's get into the final segment of this episode. As I look up the state birds. Oh, shit, I didn't realize the cardinal was the state bird of Virginia.
I knew that. Of course,
Gil,
I grew up in Virginia, so I better know that.
After next week, you know what's the start of, right?
We've gone from hockey to bird facts.
Apparently, the cardinal's also the state bird for West Virginia. But it's a different kind
That's because West Virginia was too lazy to pick a different one when they split off.
So, Gil, you know what happens. You know what's next week after the draft, right?
Free agency?
Yes, free agency. North Carolina doesn't even have a state bird.
Bummer.
Oh, they have the card. So they have the cardinal and the cardinalita.
What?
A female cardinal?
Yeah, maybe a female cardinal.
Right, okay. Excuse me a second.
So anyways, Gil, the NHL free agency happens, I believe, the 1st, which is the following, I think, 3 days, the Thursday after the draft? No, the Tuesday after the draft. Gil, there's a lot of right here, July 1st at noon. There's a lot of.
I was going to say usually it's July 1 is when all the contracts expire.
Yeah, a lot of potential free agencies in this year's draft. A guy that's the Capitals have been linked to a lot is Nikolai Ehlers.
Who?
The Winnipeg Jets former center.
He plays for Winnipeg.
Okay.
So we've been connected to him a lot this offseason. Not like that's all I've been hearing is as the Capitals, that's their top guy. But I've also heard that if it goes anything past $9 million, the Capitals are not going for him. So the Capitals are looking to get someone that's cheaper than $9 million. I don't think they're going to find someone that's a top 6 player. Because I think the ultimate goal is to move McMichael back to the 3rd center line or move him to the center position.
Okay, so it's like we're shopping at a Krispy Kreme.
Pretty much.
Krispy Kreme. No, I'm serious. We're trading away or getting rid of one Danish, Eller, for another Danish.
The only difference is the one Danish that we're trying to get is younger than Eller and still in his prime. So
that makes a difference. He's not stale.
True.
He's fresh.
You always want fresh baked.
That's right.
So, I mean, obviously I made my piece. I know who I want in the free agency. 100%. I still think he'd be a great fit for the Capitals.
Where would you put him? What line?
Marchand?
Yeah.
Third line, you put Marchand, Leonard, and Wilson together, all on a line.
Ooh. Oh shit.
Then you have what we call
that'd be one nasty ass line.
we call
Oh
that
shit.
the Broad Street Bullies, the 2.0, the Broad Street Bullies 2.0. Because the people don't realize Leonard can play center. He played center throughout the World Juniors last year. So I wouldn't mind doing that. I just want our three most pesky players on the ice. I just think Brad Marchand. I don't think we're gonna sign Brad Marchand, but I would love for Brad Marchand to be a Capital.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys that everybody loves to hate, but would love to have him on their team.
I mean, he's 37, but he's playing like he's 25. He looks like he's got another 5-6 years left in him. But I ultimately don't think we're gonna sign him. I think he's gonna re-sign with Florida. I think Florida loves him. They're gonna re-sign him.
He seems to like it down there too.
Yeah.
I mean, feeling seems to be very mutual.
Well, because he's one win away from winning the Stanley Cup, Cheryl.
Okay, well, yeah, that doesn't hurt. That certainly doesn't hurt.
Gil, would you be opposed from signing Brad Marchand?
Not necessarily. I mean, I don't want to hand him like a 5-year,
No, 2 years.
$6 million AAV contract.
2 years tops. 2 years tops.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe a 2-year.
2 years tops.
As long as it's nothing ridiculous like that, then no, I wouldn't mind that.
Think of the possibilities. Think of the possibilities of a Brad Marchand, Ryan Leonard, Tom Wilson line.
That would
There'd
be
be a lot of paramedics present.
Yeah.
Or even think of the possibility of a Brad Marchand, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Tom Wilson line.
Hey, what about McElrath?
McElrath plays defense, hon.
Well, have him out there with them.
You know what? I got it. All right. A full 5 men of Brad Marchand, Ryan Leonard, Tom Wilson, Dylan McElrath, and Racco Gudis.
Except I don't think I want Gudis back, but that would be nasty.
Yeah, I feel like most teams would just be like, you know what, screw it. We forfeit, you win.
Yeah, right?
I vote to bring Nate Schmidt back.
I'm not opposed to that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think he's under contract anyways. I think he's got a 2-year deal with Florida. Let's look at his contract.
If we limit him to play, if you can trick Florida to trade him for Sandin 1-for-1, yeah, I'd take that.
That could work. I could do that.
But ain't no way Florida's going for that.
No, Nate Schmidt's been
No.
such a huge. I still think we did him dirty though. I still think we did him dirty. We did him dirty in 2018.
Yeah.
Or was it 2017? 2017 we did him dirty.
Yeah.
What's his college?
Letting him go to Vegas, that was just not right.
Well, we decided to who the hell did we protect that we didn't need to fucking protect in 2017? So he's a free agent, but I think he's going to re-sign with Florida. I really do think he's going to re-sign with Florida.
I don't remember who it was that we protected. I don't remember.
So, looking back at the 2017 expansion draft, the Capitals. So here's the Capitals protection list: Ovechkin, Backstrom, Kuznetsov, Wilson, Eller. We protected Marcus Johansson over Nate Schmidt. That's what pissed me off. That's what pissed me off. And then we end up trading him right after Nate Schmidt got selected.
Yeah. And then we brought him
For
back.
DSP.
It's like, dude, why are you bringing him back? There's a reason we traded him.
Wow, we left fucking.
Yes.
We left Brooks
And then traded
Orpik.
him away again.
We left the Brooks
Yeah.
Orpik wide open.
Screw it. Bring him back a third time.
You know what? You know who I wouldn't mind bringing back to retire a Capital?
Who's up?
Game 7 winner against Tampa Bay.
Burakovsky?
Burakovsky.
Yeah.
Never mind.
You think he's done?
Never mind. Never mind. He signed a 5-year deal. No.
He's not done.
No, he's not done. He signed a 5-year deal 2 years ago. So he's got, 3 years left on his contract?
Who's he with? Is he still with Seattle, or did he go somewhere else?
He's with Seattle.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a certain player I wouldn't mind us trading for.
Uh-oh.
He plays like a pest.
Don't say Yanni Gord.
Oh, hell no. Did you see his massive contract that he got for freaking Tampa Bay?
Oh, my God.
That was terrible. He did nothing for them in the playoffs, which is even funnier. He did absolutely nothing for them. He signed a 6-year, $14 million. No, it's he is on Tampa Bay though. He's not going to sign a contract with Tampa Bay. I have a feeling we could. That's who we get for our 27th overall pick.
Who's that?
Gail knows who I'm talking about.
Jake Gensel?
No.
All right, then no. I don't know who the hell you're talking about.
Their prospect. Oh, he's 21.
I'm drawing a blank. I don't know anybody in their system.
Isaac Howard.
Well, I know one game. I know one guy, but I don't even know if they got him anymore.
Who?
He's got a real funny French name, Alex Barre Boulay, something like that.
Isaac
I don't
Howard.
even know if they got him.
He's with the Syracuse Crunch. Yeah, he's still with Tampa Bay system.
Isaac Howard. Isaac Howard is who I'm talking about, Gil. Isaac Howard. He doesn't want to play.
We're talking about Gil. I see him all the time.
Isaac Howard.
He's their top prospect, and the guy that doesn't want to sign with them because he doesn't feel like he has a future in the system. I think he could be a future top 6 guy for us. Him and Ryan Leonard could create havoc on the top line. I mean, he also won the Hobie Baker Award over Ryan Leonard.
Then why doesn't Tampa Bay develop him?
He doesn't want to sign with Tampa Bay. Because he's looking at Tampa Bay, and I don't blame him.
And he's how old?
He's 21.
Yeah, he's got some options.
I mean, he could either sign with them or wait until after next year and sign somewhere else. Because he's played 4 years. I mean, we could potentially just wait for him next year and sign him in the offseason. I could say that if the Capitals want to move for a prospect, this is a guy I think would be worth it. Because we need a guy in the left wing. I don't think like me and you have come multiple times. I don't think Miroshnichenko is it. I don't. I love the kid.
No.
You know what? Come here, you.
I think he has potential to be an excellent player. I just don't think he's going to be an excellent player on this roster. Andrew Crystal has jumped him in hype. And Andrew Crystal is our number 1 prospect going forward. Parasek is number 2. Chesley is our number 3. Cole Hudson, I can't say that. Cole Hudson's number 1. Number 1 forward prospect is Andrew Crystal. The 2 top defensemen are Chesley and Hudson. And whoever we draft this year, if we draft at 27, if we keep our pick. But Isaac Howard is a player I think could fit on our team. I think he would instantly sign with us because I think he would have not only would he would play in Hershey right away. Todd Nelson, also Mitch Love, which we'll talk about in a minute. It's not looking like Mitch Love is going anywhere. Dallas.
Thank God.
Dallas.
No, they don't even have him on his radar. I looked it up. Dallas Stars potential candidates that I've been seeing. Mitch Love's not on there. Todd Nelson is though, but Mitch Love's not on there. I've been hearing a lot though. Their favorite candidate is Steve Ott.
Okay.
But there's internal options like Neil Graham and Alan Niersterin, and internal candidates such as Peter Laviolette.
Ugh. Laviolette in Dallas. That would be very bad. That would be very bad.
You think Peter DeBoer was bad? Wait until you sign Peter Laviolette, the other terrible Peter.
I think worse.
Begging for your old guy back.
I think ultimately Neil Graham is going to get promoted. He is the Texas Stars AHL head coach. Mitch Love, I think, is staying in Washington until next year. And Gil, I'm going to say it right now and then. Mitch Love's probably the next Buffalo Sabre head coach. There's no way in hell Lindy Ruff is surviving halfway through the season.
Well, I let's ask Jared. You think Ruff survives the season?
If they play anything like last year, no. And knowing Buffalo, they probably will.
Yeah.
Which leads us to Peterka. Sabres aren't trading him. They've already came out multiple times and said they're not moving Peterka.
Why the hell not?
He is still very young, and he should be one of their keystone pieces on that team. Him and Zach Benson and who's the other kid that's really good? Quinn, yes, Jack Quinn. So I'm not shocked about that, but yeah. So Gil, Isaac Howard, I think we should trade for him, or we could do the. But the thing is, I don't think Tampa Bay is just going to let him walk. That's why I think we should trade for him. I'd be willing to give up our first round pick for a guy like this. I mean, Tampa Bay.
I mean, if nobody that they really want is available by then, why not?
The question is, will he get moved before the draft? Because Tampa Bay it's already, like, they've already came out and said Tampa Bay is not signing him. Like, and Howard already told him that he's not going to play for Tampa Bay. Which I don't blame him, because looking as Howard, if I'm Howard, I'm looking at Tampa Bay. I'm looking at a team that's regressing fast. I don't want to play for a team like that. I want to play for a team that's on the rise, that is going to be either going to be a cup contender the next couple of years, or is on the verge of being in the playoffs. Tampa Bay is on the verge of missing the playoffs. They're on the verge of becoming the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, anyways, Gil, that's all the time we have for this week. One more episode left. Next week, we'll all be together, except for Jared. Thank God. Don't need him blowing up the bathroom like he said he was gonna blow up all 4 bathrooms.
3.5.
You know what? I'll just call in sick to work.
He's gonna show up at the house, knock on the door, and just rush in and use the bathroom and leave.
I absolutely 100% believe that he would do that.
I just drove 5.5 hours to use your shitter, and damn it, I'm gonna do it.
Anyways, next week.
Why do I 100% believe that?
Next week will not be a normal episode. It'll be a podcast, or it'll be a live stream episode at the end.
When do we ever have a normal episode?
Well,
because we aren't normal at all.
We aren't normal. Anyways, what I mean by normal episode, I mean as it's not a recorded episode. It'll be a live stream episode. It'll be the season finale. We're having a a group of people coming in. Gail will be there. Our friend Lindsay will be there. Ted will hopefully be on.
Should be here.
Ted will be on camera. 2 other people are coming, I think, right?
I haven't heard from Jim and Morgan.
I think. What about Diane? Did she say she was coming? I hope not.
Doyle?
I hope not. I hope to God not.
I don't know if she was on the list.
I hope to. Thank God. Good. You did a good job. You did a good job.
Better hope she don't watch this.
I only kid. But anyways, next week next week we're gonna have the draft watch, and you're gonna see me and Gil freak out again after a terrible pick at 27.
Oh my God! Last year it was so funny. We're all like, "What the?"
No. I'm not gonna freak out because I will not be surprised. I said last night on Sports on the Hill, this thing could literally go in 5 different directions. So whatever they do, it's not going to surprise me.
With the 27th overall pick, the Washington Capitals have traded it to the Tampa Bay Lightning for Isaac Howard.
Yeah, they could do that.
No, I honestly would not be shocked if it's a defenseman or a goaltender. I still think 37 is where we go goalie. But anyways, thank you guys for joining. We'll see you guys next week for the season finale and the live stream of the NHL draft. One more week, Gil. Let's get it going. We're going to have some freaking platters. We're getting freaking a fruit and cheese platter, a deli platter.
Did you say a fruit and cheese platter?
Fruit and cheese.
Fruit and cheese platter.
Fruit and cheese platter. Wait for Jared to come by so we can have that, and then you really blow up the bathrooms.
Nothing better than cheese and strawberries mixed together.
Fruit and cheese platter.
Actually, cherries do it for me.
It's not going to be strawberries anyways. It's only going to be grapes.
That's almost as bad.
Grapes and cheese do go good together. I ain't going to lie.
So anyways, stay tuned tomorrow as well. We have our IWC episode 4, Cheryl? Episode 4 tomorrow.
I believe it is.
The debut of the PWC Championship belt. We'll see you guys later. Caps on 3?
Sure.
1, 2, 3. Let's go, Caps!
Let's go, Caps!
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely